Hey guys, thanks for clicking on Avatar The Last Podcast with Matt and Ricky.
Hello.
Good job. I'm glad you didn't use a voice that time.
Okay. I kind of did a voice.
You're free to cut out any segments that you feel... No, wait, I'll probably edit this first one, so...
Yes, you're free to cut out 90% of this.
I'll leave it all your nonsense and take out all mine, so...
No.
I sound like the intelligent one. We watched the first 3 episodes of Avatar,
Yeah.
and...
See, I know we watched 3 of them at once, and I'm kind of like, we should talk about episode by episode. But I'm not a fan of season 1. I just want to fly through it and get to season 2 and 3.
I know.
I mean, continue.
Okay.
You know what? Fuck it. Let's just do episode 1, 2, and 3 in this podcast, and if people want us to slow down, then we'll slow down for them.
If there's any hardcore die-hard season 1 fans,
Yeah.
of which there are none.
I mean, I'm pretty sure people wanted to get to the episode where you and I are like crying for those sad episodes, like in season like 2 and 3.
I can cry at the animation quality in these episodes, so
Yeah.
that counts.
That was actually one thing that Matt and I, when we were watching this, like the first 2 episodes, the animation was super dodgy,
Yeah.
and then out of nowhere, episode 3 came.
Yeah. Alright, so let's break it down. So the concept of this is that I, Matt, watched Avatar as a kid as it was coming out week to week on Nickelodeon 10 years ago or whatever. I don't even remember how old Avatar is.
I was in high school when it was, I think when it was airing back on Optus. We called it Optus. Or at least I had Optus, not Foxtel.
Oh really? Optus had a pay TV?
Yeah, they had like Cartoon Network and stuff.
Oh my god, that's
it was
insane.
still Foxtel, but we didn't. It was called Optus.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, it was shit.
Okay, alright. And Ricky, on the other hand, was too cool for school to watch Avatar. He discovered it as an adult and binged the entire thing. What? How long ago?
Oh, gee, like I think I've kind of lost count, but I watched the movie first, the live action film first.
I forgot.
Yeah, that like I never saw the cartoon, and I went to see the live action movie because so many fans were complaining about it. And I'm like, oh, these are just like book readers going, oh, this is nowhere near as good as the book.
Like Harry Potter fans.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't as good as the book.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go watch it because it looks cool. Like the ad looked cool, so I went and watched it.
The trailers did look cool.
Yeah.
For the live action movie.
It was probably the most misconceiving marketing scheme ever. Like, I have never cringed so hard in a movie, and I still think, in my opinion, it is the worst movie that's trying to be good. Like, The Room is classed as the worst movie, but that's the worst movie for comedy reasons.
You can get entertainment out of The Room, though.
Yeah, Avatar, like, it... I have a feeling like us bitching about the live action movie should be another podcast.
I feel like
general.
anyone listening to this doesn't have to be informed on the live action movie.
That's true.
No one wants to be like, yeah, the live action movie, let's go, mate.
Yeah. But the thing is, when I watched the live action movie, something about it made me interested. It was the world of it, and the concepts had me interested. And that's when I was like, I'm gonna, I'll watch like, a few episodes. I think I started it in like Toph's episode. That was
Really?
like my first episode I ever watched. Was
Really?
Toph's episode.
Her
Yeah.
introduction.
Because I saw a few like clips of Toph, and I'm like, Toph seems like a cool character. And I was like, what's the episode where she comes in?
Wow.
And it's like, oh, the blind bandit. But we'll get into that later on. But I started binge watching it from season 2 to season 3, then went back to season 1.
Whoa.
And
Wait, hold up. So you watched the live action movie,
Yeah.
then you watched YouTube clips, random clips of Avatar,
Yeah.
then you watched Toph's introduction episode.
It was a slow progression into me watching it.
Then you started at season 2.
Actually, when it came to Toph's clips, it wasn't like a clip. It was a collection of Toph's best moments.
Oh my god.
Like a collage that someone made on YouTube, and
Oh
I
my
watched it. And I'm like,
God.
Toph's a cool character. Screw the others.
Wow.
So, yeah, my ordering is a bit off.
Okay, so I'm organic, wholesome, GMO free, no artificial flavors and colorings Avatar. I watched it as a kid week to week on Nickelodeon. You have a horrible amalgamation of
Getting into it. I kind of had to force myself into it because the thing that never interested me was Aang's character design. It seems too cartoony
really?
for me to watch. I was like, it's too kiddie for me.
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong.
Wow. You just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's still such a good... Like, episode 1 it's very slapsticky actually.
Yeah, so getting into the episodes, we watched episode 1, 2, and 3. There's a weird jumping off point at the end of episode 2 where the whole style of the show changes.
Like,
Wait,
please
let's recap. Let's recap the episodes. Episode 1, they find Aang in the iceberg.
yeah.
The Fire Nation sees Aang get released, and they come and attack Korra.
Korra.
Oh, my bloody friend's name is Korra. And no, Korra is the second season.
Yeah.
Sokka and Katara.
Katara.
Oh my god, I combined their names.
My wife with Katara.
I don't like Katara.
Oh, how
For the
dare you!
record.
How dare you!
For the record, I don't like Katara.
We'll get into waifus later.
Stay tuned for Waifu Corner.
Oh yes.
The last 15 minutes, the last 45, the last hour and a half of each episode will be Waifu Corner.
And if you're listening to this, if you have a waifu, tell us who it is, and if you're a female, tell us who your gar is. I think is what they call it.
I thought it was
husband food.
Husbando.
Husbando. Okay.
Husbando.
Tell me who your husbando is, and if you hate weeboos, we're sorry.
Email into Waifu Corner at avatarthelastpodcast@gmail.com.
Ooh.
Please. I wonder if we should do that. This sounds like a legitimate thing now.
Oh
Anyway.
yeah, sorry. Yeah, keep. What were you on about?
Zuko invades the Southern Water Tribe
Yes.
to look for Aang.
Yeah.
To find the Avatar.
It's kind of interesting too. Like Sokka is a very interesting character. I think it plays throughout the whole series. I guess we'll have to keep watching to find out because I can't remember. But he's very negative in this, or he's just like, I don't believe that. I also don't believe that.
Yeah, I think these first 2 episodes, they suffer from the usual pilot episode syndrome of 1, not a lot of story can happen because they have to introduce the characters, and 2, they have to immediately drive home all these characters' points, so they're kind of caricatured.
Yeah.
Like Sokka's just a huge idiot, negative. He's just really unpleasant. Katara is like needlessly antagonistic. Aang's needlessly childish.
Yeah.
Aang annoyed the hell out of me in these first 2 episodes.
In season 1, for me, from memory, he annoys me. But episode 1 and 2, he's very, I don't know, he's just annoying. He's like an annoying kid who's like constantly going, "Want to play with me? Want to play with?" It's like, no, fuck off.
Yeah, we were saying before that the first 2 episodes, they feel really Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure if you said that there was a pilot episode before these 2.
Yes.
That would have been the internal one that they showed to the execs to get the show greenlit.
Yeah.
So I imagine that these ones were trying to hook in kids who weren't like what would have been popular at the time. Ren and Stimpy. No, this was after that. SpongeBob, yeah.
Was it
yeah.
SpongeBob?
Okay, yeah. So SpongeBob was the king hitter at the time.
It still is, I think, for Nickelodeon.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, jeez, that's bad Nickelodeon.
Welcome to the last SpongeCast.
Oh my god.
Where we discuss every episode of SpongeBob in chronological order.
I would rather die than talk about SpongeBob. I mean, it's a good show, I guess, but
it's good. Anyway, they would have been trying to hook, SpongeBob crowd.
yeah.
So Aang is really SpongeBob-y in
He
this.
is, now that you mention it.
Sokka's really Squidward-y. It's really Squidward Patrick-y.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know many other. Those are the only 2, and then actually no, he's very Patrick-y, I guess.
Yeah.
I think Katara is more Squidward-y because
Yeah.
Squidward's like the only sensible character from memory, and Katara is always like that person who's like going, "Hope, we must have hope," and freaking, what's his name? Sokka's like, "Meat, we must have meat."
Yeah. Oh god, I want to see the Avatar: The Last Airbender with Squidward, SpongeBob, and Patrick now.
That would be horror. Actually, no, that'd be an entertainingly crying.
That'd be pretty fun. Let's just watch the superhero episode of SpongeBob and compare it to Avatar. Krakatoa.
I think the one thing that I really liked about at least the first 2 episodes, like even though they like, you can tell they were shoehorning in like the world. They're trying to like throw as much about this world as possible.
Hit us over the head with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think it was episode 2 where they had Aang go into the Avatar state.
Yeah.
Which was like out of nowhere. He's just like, I'm gonna go into the Avatar state because I fell on water.
That was weird. Yeah, but well, okay. So you've seen the whole series recently, multiple times.
Yeah.
I'm remembering. I haven't watched or stayed in contact with Avatar or anything in like the last 10 years. I just remember watching it as a kid.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, obviously the last time I watched Avatar would have been the end of the last season, the big climactic arc and everything. So going back to this and watching him get knocked into water, activating the Avatar form because he got knocked off a boat is like, what?
Yeah.
That's all it takes?
Like, I think it would have been better if they had just Aang use airbending.
Yeah.
But I think they were just trying to show us what the Avatar state looks like, even though we saw it in the opening credits.
Yeah. I think it's still that same problem of the pilot episode. They've got to be like, bang, this is it. This is Aang. This is his powers. This is the Avatar state. This is Zuko. This is bang, bang, bang. And
they're probably like going, "Oh, what does this mean? Oh, keep watching and we'll explain it."
it's like a vertical slice, like a video game demo where they give you a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I like the show is good enough that they can take their time with it.
Yeah, they probably. This
although-
is probably pretty experimental at the time, though.
Yeah, like obviously they had no idea the show would become as good as it was.
Yeah.
Or it would be. So they're just like, just to be safe, let's just. They were being safe.
Yeah,
I guess.
they had to be safe. Yeah.
Which is understandable, but when you look back at it, it's like, you guys didn't need to do it, but
Yeah.
um,
Because this was coming off the back of Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh. Like,
was Naruto out? Or
maybe.
I mean, Naruto
was probably around the same time.
maybe, yeah.
Maybe a little, yeah, but because before Avatar, from what I remember, all the kids shows were Rocko's Modern Life, Ren and Stimpy, Dexter's
Yeah.
Laboratory. There weren't any, like, this is clearly riding the wave of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Like, if Dragon Ball Z hadn't hit in the West, I don't think Avatar would have even been made. Or if it had been made, it would have been this first 2 episodes, this SpongeBob Avatar,
Yeah.
the whole way through.
Oh god, that'd be horrible.
I know.
Oh my god, I don't know if I could sit through 3 seasons of episode 1 and 2 style
yeah.
characters all the way through. Like, one thing that's actually really interesting is with the design for Aang and Appa. Apparently, when they designed Appa, they had like originally this was going to be set in the future
Really?
and not in the past. Like, I think Aang was going to be a cyborg.
What?
And Appa was meant to be almost like Momo, or like a kind of like a giant dog that Aang would ride around on.
Whoa,
Interesting
yeah.
enough, they recycled that design as Naga for Korra's companion. Like if you look at the character designs, they're very similar.
Okay.
But I remember seeing they have like sketches, like early sketches of Aang, of like a cyborg kind of thing. He was still bald and had arrows on his head.
Whoa.
But yeah.
That's crazy.
It's so weird how it's like, let's set in the future. No, let's set in like ancient China-esque.
Let's do the exact opposite of that.
Yeah. I'm so glad they went the second route though.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Like, it would have been easier too to pitch to the Nickelodeon execs, be like, "This is crazy future robot world. We can sell all the robot toys and the robot action figures."
Yeah.
Can you imagine them going in and being like, "Oh, we want to base this setting in like ancient China, and we're
Yeah.
gonna have these deep, meaningful cultures, and like kids are just gonna love the culture, because if there's one thing 7 years olds love, it's culture."
That's actually funny you say that. I think the one reason why I love this show so much is the culture that they made within it.
And it shows even in these wacky, weird, loose first few episodes.
Yeah. Like even the costume designs, which is something we're talking about when we're watching these episodes, was the costumes felt like actual realistic costumes that made sense for their world.
It would have been so easy for them to go, the Fire Nation, they have flames, they have flame jackets. The Water Nation, they look like scuba divers. They have big scuba helmets. And the Air Nation have wings on their hats. And it would have been so easy just to be like Power Rangers.
Oh, God, yeah. But no, they're like, no, let's actually look at like the human history and see if we can base some of our world on the past of mankind. I'm like, it's so good.
Yeah. And what was it? Fire Nation is based on China and Korean ancient garb, and Water Nation's based obviously on Inuit attire, and Earth Nation, I don't even know. Aztecs? Mayans? I'm not sure.
Maybe, yeah. I think, I mean, it's kind of obvious where the Water Nation was inspired from.
Yeah.
Very, very obvious. Fire Nation, yeah, I think it's like Chinese or no, I think it's Japanese, and I think the Earthbenders are based on Chinese. 'Cause, like, the names, which we'll get into obviously later on in future episodes when we visit the Earth Nation.
Yeah, the Earth Nation, get hype.
Yes, the for those of you who don't know, we're actually playing the episode, just sort of in the background to sort of jumpstart our memories if we forgot something.
Yeah.
We're up to the sequence where Aang is riding the penguin, and there's an animated sequence in it which just did not work.
Yeah, so I want to say too that I haven't kept up with the Avatar community or the fan base or anything. Like, I'm going to this like 95% blind.
Yeah.
But I have heard that these first 2 episodes, the animation barely runs.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a flip book at points where they have 2 or 3 frames of animation and you've just got to piece together what the hell happened in the last 4 seconds.
There's even like a few background drawings that we were spotted that looked like as though they just threw a couple of digital brushes and like, that'll do.
First draft, easily. Just some dude was like, boop, 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 yeah, that's the ice. That's blue, that's ice.
Yeah.
One scene where Aang's riding the penguin and it's meant to be like a 3D first-person perspective. He's going through a tunnel.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 frames of animation and you have no clue what's going on.
Like, you really have to like concentrate to sort of get the idea of what they're trying to do. But it doesn't make sense when you have like what looks like Aang spinning around on the roof and then flying away from Katara.
It's not until you see him fly out of the hole in the other end, you're like, oh, he was going through a tunnel. It was like, it looked like a weird abstract like kaleidoscope.
And I think that's what makes it so weird when you watch the first like 2 episodes and then go to episode 3. There's like this huge jump.
It's crazy.
And it's like they even try and do the same kind of animated sequence where Aang is jumping down this building, and they have like this 3D sequence, but
it works.
It
so works in episode 3. It's unbelievable. Even in the first 2 episodes, I really didn't like the facial expressions they use. They use a lot of like Ren and Stimpy style, hyper exaggerated facial expressions, and that combined with the low frame rate just looked like
it's just very
unpleasant. Yeah, and then not season 3, episode 3. The animations smooth out, the facials become more realistic. They drop the Ren and Stimpiness a little bit.
There were a few little sequences where they did have a bit of Ren and Stimpy, but it just worked more.
Yeah. Oh, we're watching the scene now.
Oh, yes. Look at that. High 60 frames per second.
Don't address the video the listeners can't see.
I'm describing it to them. It's a beautiful 60 frames a second at 4K resolution.
Oh, God. It's so bad. I wonder, it almost feels like they had 1 episode's budget to do 2 episodes with.
Yeah, and it's like out of nowhere suddenly, I mean, we haven't watched all of season 1 yet. We only saw the first 3 episodes.
Yeah, but the jump from episode 2 to episode 3 is unbelievable.
Yeah. I think like one thing that really works well with, at least for the Katara, Sokka, and Aang, is the voice actors.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone else playing any of the roles.
Yeah, that's true. Aang gets on my nerves a little bit, but I can see like obviously that the show's aimed at a younger audience, so I probably enjoyed it more as a kid.
Yeah, like because it's a kid show, it kind of gets a pass with the whole like Aang's laugh kind of gets to me every now and then, where he's just like and I'm like, that annoys me.
Yeah, SpongeBob.
Katara, honestly, on paper she should annoy me because she's always whining and complaining about how other characters are being themselves, but in a way it makes sense and why she's like that.
Yeah. Like
she's always complaining at Sokka of him like constantly, like he's always making fun at like benders and stuff, and she gets angry at him because of it. It's like, well, that makes sense. Like if someone made fun of my culture, I'd get upset.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of justified.
She did annoy me a bit in the first 2 when everyone had the exaggerated caricature personalities where she kind of seemed needlessly confrontational. Like, no, shut up. No, shut up. Everyone shut up. Everyone, I'm right. I'm Katara. Listen to me.
Oh, is this when she's in front of like the crowd or something?
Yeah, just like anytime Sokka says something, she's like, shut up, Sokka.
Poor Sokka. No one cares about the non-benders.
I did think it was weird too. At the end of episode 2, Zuko comes and takes Aang away. Episode 2?
Yes.
Or was it end of episode 1?
Episode 2. Okay. That's when Zuko shows up.
Yeah, they come and take Zuko away. They come and take Aang away. Aang just takes Zuko and lifts him up into the clouds, and they never see him again. Aang sacrifices himself by saying that he'll leave with the firebenders if the firebenders leave the water tribe alone.
Yeah.
And Katara immediately sides with Aang when her entire family tells her not to. And they've known him for like 2 hours.
I mean, yeah, that kind of does
I was
make
like,
a bit
what?
of sense. Because, like, I mean, yeah, sure, this guy's come up, he could teach her how to be a waterbender, and she wants to be a waterbender and all, but I don't know if that would be enough to make someone turn against their family.
You live in this tiny community of like 20 people.
Yeah.
They're all you know for your entire life, and like, maybe you shouldn't trust this stranger.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna trust this stranger. You shut up, Grandma. You don't know anything, Grandma.
Could you imagine what it'd be like if you lived in a small tribe and you're isolated from the rest of the world? You turn against these people, and then that person leaves, and like, well, I gotta live with these people I turned my back on for the rest of my life now. Hey guys, wanna be friends with me? And then they're
Awesome.
like, they'll probably just be like, no, fuck off, you traitor.
Yeah, you seem at best like a shifty character.
Traitor!
Traitor!
Remember that gif you sent me of Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
He's like, traitor!
Traitor! Yeah, episode 1 and 2 is about bloody hell, Sokka and Katara meeting Aang, and then Zuko coming and taking Aang away.
Yeah, we pretty much meet our protagonist and our antagonist almost. Like, we don't get introduced with... We haven't been introduced to freaking Azula, probably the most craziest character in this entire franchise.
Yeah, I love Azula.
She is a really good character, and she's a character who has probably the most menacing themed song, and it's not even a theme song, it's just a dong, it's just a one chime sound. Like, every time she's on screen you hear that, you're like, ooh, crazy bitches here.
That's another thing too, even with these first 2 episodes, with the terrible animation, the terrible characterization, the terrible writing, the decent voice acting, the music was still good.
The music was good, the choreo, like, even though the choreo was like choppy,
Yeah.
the choreo was still pretty decent.
Yeah.
Like, it still felt like, I love the idea of bending. Like, there's one thing why I love this show so much, was like the whole idea of bending an element like a martial art. Instead of, like, say, someone from, say, a Marvel film like Magneto, when he lifts up a bridge, all he does is
just lift
raises
his arms.
hands.
Yeah.
How boring is that? You know, having someone like kick or throw punches and stuff to bend an element. Now that's an awesome idea.
Do some backflips, mate. Do some judo chops to lift that bridge.
So we're watching episode 2 right now. Well, sort of. I'm not really watching it, but the scene comes on where Katara like turns her back on her entire family.
Her entire world, all she's ever known.
Yeah.
For a boy she met 2 hours ago.
They're a small tribe. Are they all related?
I was just wondering that.
Like, obviously they're going to have kids, because they're not going to not have kids and die off.
Yeah, they have... Yeah.
So are they all just incests?
Well, okay. You went straight there.
Yeah, of course.
Welcome to Incest, the Last Podcast.
Yes.
Where we discuss all your favorite incest characters from your favorite incest television shows.
Oh, yes. We can talk about all the sex fanfics and stuff. All the doujinshis.
No.
We're already in
You're already derailing us. Rick.
Yes.
Rick.
Okay, no. Let's be sensible.
No.
Rule 34. Go check it out.
Oh, no.
But episode 2, like, one thing I loved about this episode, like, my favorite part of this entire episode was when Zuko reveals to everyone that Aang is the Avatar. And I love Sokka's reaction. Like, well, Sokka and Katara's reaction. Like, Katara's like, Aang? And then Sokka's like, no way.
Yeah?
Like, I love that reaction. Like, the whole time Sokka's been giving Aang shit. And he's like, oh shit, it's the Avatar.
He's the real deal.
Yeah, like, I love that. I think that's why Sokka was meant to be this annoying character just for that moment. Because he's like, Aang, you're a piece of shit, I don't like you anymore. Next, oh, oops.
Whoops.
I mean, they do that in Korra as well, where they have, like, Mako, who, like, bashes on, like, Korra for, like, half an episode, and then he finds out, and he's like, oh, damn. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I always like those, like, I told you so kind of moments in stories.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're always just, like, fun to see, and, like, seeing people's reactions to it.
Yeah. Speaking of
always great.
Sokka, there were elements here that I liked of him that I wanted to see more of when he was willing to defend the village from the Fire Nation by himself.
Yeah.
And even though it was misguided, like they played it off like he was a dumb kid, like I'm a man now, I'm gonna save the village and everything.
Yeah.
If they had continued that as like a major, I guess they bring it up now and then again, but if they had continued that as a major like character thread of him like wanting to come back to the village and be the protector, I think that would have been really like a really cool character arc for him to follow.
Yeah, I think I can't remember too much about his character arc except for like way like in season 3, but like yeah, I do like because he's trying to fight up against like a battle cruiser that comes in all on his own.
I would have loved it if like at the end of the entire show or the end of season 2 or something, the Fire Nation comes back to the Southern Water Tribe, but Sokka's there and he just whips it.
Yeah.
Like they come out and he just Batmans them all, just bang, 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 boomerangs, just smacks them all down. How amazing would that be if it was the same scene? The same scene, but he just, like, it's version 2. Sokka,
Yeah.
get out of my face.
I mean, they kind of, from memory, I remember I think it's like season 3, like pretty much all the characters, but Sokka especially, like he becomes like a fully fledged warrior.
Yeah.
Like you see him take on like full-on armies on his own, which is really cool.
That's cool.
He gets his space sword.
His space sword. That's one of the few memories I have is my space sword.
And he loses it, spoiler alert. I don't know if we should include that. That's too much of a spoiler.
Is anyone listening to this in real time and like, oh wow, Avatar, I better watch episode 2 now while they're talking about episode 2? Like,
yeah, chances are people are probably like going, let's see what other like reactions and stuff. This is kind of like a reaction podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
We're just like recapping.
Well, yeah, it's just like going back to a show that people might have liked as kids and just re-listening to like what we think of it now as adults.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I didn't grow up with it, but I'm pretty sure if I had, like, my love for this show hasn't changed since I first watched it. Like, not once.
When did you first watch it? How many years ago?
Well, when the movie came out, that's when I first watched it. So,
can we cut that?
No, but I'm kind of curious. When did The Last Airbender we have been able to speak words very clearly today.
Are you having a stroke?
Okay, let me what was it? The Last Airbender, by Midnight Shyamalan.
By Midnight Shyamalan. Avatar.
Airbender. All right, let's see.
Avatar, the last box office bender.
So it came out in 2010. So
Okay.
I started watching this show in 2010.
7 years ago. Okay.
So that's still a decent chunk of time.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're about 20.
Yeah.
And I watched it when I was.
Oh, wow.
That's how old we are.
Wow. Okay.
It was so old. And I watched it when I was 12, 13 probably. I don't remember exactly what year it first came out, but yeah, I was watching it week to week as it was coming out on Nickelodeon.
Yeah. And like the one thing that I really loved about this show was like it has to be the characters. Like if the characters weren't as interesting as they are, well, I don't know. But if they're just so interesting. Like the characters make up like 90% of the show in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like the whole drama between them all, like if the characters were boring, this show I think wouldn't have gotten far.
Right. It would have just been like just a generic anime shonen.
Yeah.
It would have just been Bleach or probably Naruto to an extent, Dragon Ball Z even.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have broken past the mold those shows set.
Yeah. And I love how the characters, like in like the first few episodes, you see it like every character is ridiculously flawed.
Yeah.
Especially Sokka, the non-bender. Like they are all so badly just flawed. They don't have any special quirks about them.
Yeah. I really like that it would have been really easy to make Aang a Naruto or Goku character where he's the good guy and he's right. He always does the right thing. He makes the right decisions. He screws up a lot in this show, and a lot of the time he does the right thing, and it's the wrong decision to make. And
it's actually really interesting, especially in the first few episodes. You see it, like even though Aang is like the chosen one,
Harry Potter,
he still needs like guidance from his friends and stuff.
Well, I just noticed. Just watching the episode here, I just noticed that Zuko hits Sokka 3 times with the staff, which is exactly what Sokka does to him on the boat later on.
True.
I just noticed that detail.
That.
That's crazy.
Wow, that has flown right over my head.
So we were just watching it here. Sokka ran up to Zuko with his staff. Zuko took it off and knocked him in the forehead 3 times.
Yeah.
In the end of this episode, I think, Zuko's hanging off a boat, and he climbs up and grabs the spear or something that Sokka has,
That's
and
right.
Sokka
Yeah.
bangs him in the forehead 3 times with it and knocks him off. That's crazy.
Yeah. Doink, doink,
Doink,
doink.
doink,
Yeah.
doink.
I remember that sound. Just that boink because that's
Doink,
what
doink, doink.
on impact sounds like.
That's nuts. I'm so sorry I interrupted you, but I
Little
just
little
noticed
details. Little detail. I never noticed that.
that. Reaction video. Whoa.
What the fuck?
Whoa.
Oh
God,
my-
sexual. Whoa.
Oh my god. Where's our 10 million subscribers?
I think everyone just turned off then. That was so obnoxious.
That was. Here it
Sorry.
is. No way.
Sorry, we were talking about how Aang is a flawed and beautiful person.
Oh yeah, like how he's flawed and stuff. But I love it how, even though he's the chosen one and stuff like that, blah blah blah. But like, he doesn't know everything, and he always has other people to guide him.
Yeah.
And I love that because in most like other shows, the main character who's like the chosen one will know everything. They will purely because they have this unspeakable power that no one else has.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things. I'm gonna cop flack for this, but I don't really like Harry Potter. I don't really like the franchise of Harry Potter.
Oh,
My least favorite thing in the Harry Potter franchise is Harry Potter, the character.
Really?
I really dislike Harry Potter, the character.
I think I know where this is going, but
Yeah.
because like I think I've heard a few people say the same thing.
Yeah, he's the chosen one, and he, especially in the first maybe 2 or 3 books, everything goes well because he's the chosen one. You're Harry
Yeah.
Potter, you're the chosen one, Harry, and
What do they call it? They call it plot armor or something.
plot armor. Yeah,
Yeah.
he has a lot of plot armor.
Yeah.
He's the chosen one. He didn't get killed by Voldemort because of plot armor, because he's
Yeah.
Harry Potter, and yeah.
Like, even though I'm pretty sure some characters in here have plot armor, but it's not like, oh, they somehow miraculously won this fight. No, like their plot armor makes sense. Like, it doesn't feel forced. Like, normally if a character's going to lose, they're going to lose, even if
Yeah.
they're the protagonist.
Yeah, it was good too because, you know, in something like Dragon Ball Z or Naruto, the solution is usually that the main character learnt a new, stronger, bigger attack
Yeah.
that explodes the bad guy even more than the last one.
Yeah.
In this, it's usually just the fact that Aang can access multiple elements at once that catches people off guard. He never usually I learned an even bigger fireball this time.
Yeah.
Blows away an even bigger bad guy.
Or it's like, he has to learn his powerful abilities through blood, sweat, and tears, not just by suddenly feeling angry.
Yeah.
Like, he does do it in episode 2 where he, like, I guess he gets angry, but it doesn't seem like it. He just turns into the Avatar state.
Yeah. I want to talk about the Avatar state too. So.
Yeah, like, that's probably the only time where it felt like as though they're just like, oh, let's just make him powerful just because we need to get people interested in the show. Which, again, they're playing it safe. It makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Again, this is all pretty experimental, especially for a Western cartoon. Like, we've had a few cartoons similar. We've had Ben 10, Max Steel.
Does Jackie Chan's animated show count?
Yeah, that's a Western show. Jackie
Yeah.
Chan. I love that show too, Jackie Chan. Let's do Jackie Chan after we finish Avatar. I love that show.
I can't remember that show. I remember watching it a little bit when I was like a kid, and I had a huge crush on that like
The
Asian
little girl?
Yeah.
Me too.
I was like,
watching
she's
it
so adorable.
as like a 12-year-old or something. Ah!
Yeah, I always had like crushes on like animated like.
Welcome
girl
to Waifu
characters.
Corner, where we talk about our favorite adventures of Jackie Chan waifus.
I'm so happy that nothing has changed. Every time I watch like an animation, I'm like, okay, so which character in here's gonna be my wife?
Which one's my waifu?
I think the only animated show I haven't done that to would have to be The Simpsons.
Simpsons.
Like,
No one.
I don't know. I've never really been attracted to people with yellow skin.
Whoa! Whoa! Holy
Yellow
hell.
animated skin, if you know what I
Whoa!
mean.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
Oh no, am I gonna have to make an apology video?
Rick, yeah, you gotta make
Oh,
an
no.
apology video.
I'm gonna make an apology video.
On your channel, My Response. Rick Murray, My Response.
I'll do an apology video where I'll just like explain to. Actually, let's not make this political.
Oh my god.
Political stuff always
You
goes
just
really,
made
really
a
bad.
political dude.
Oh my god, we're only on podcast 1.
We're
This
gonna have
is
to
gonna
shut
be
this
an
down.
adventure.
Okay, we're shutting this podcast down. It's about Jackie Chan adventures from now on.
Yeah.
Starting with Waifu Corner. Let's go, Jade.
Was that her name?
Jade, yeah.
Oh wow.
Jade Chan.
Now I feel a little bit weird because my sister's named Jade.
Oh my. What? Dude, you're making this weird.
Yeah.
You're making this whole thing weird.
I mean, unless you're from Japan.
Oh God, Christ. Please. Episode 3 of Avatar. Let's go. Let's
Oh.
bloody go. Let's jump into it.
I'm kind of curious to see how this show's gonna end.
We can't.
We're going right off the rails.
We can't. We're trying to like splash the water out of the sinking ship, but it just keeps coming in.
Here's actually another. We're still watching the show, but the sequence where Sokka's like because he's like going, oh yeah, this thing can fly, you know, Appa, and yeah, he can't fly, and then sure enough he flies, and again Sokka gets that "I told you so" moment. I mean, I still think it's pretty cool.
I always find it weird in worlds like this where there's magical powers and some people dismiss some magical powers. Like, you literally live in a world where everyone's telekinetic and you're like, this bison can't fly, even though we have documented history of humans being able to fly, but bison can't fly.
Although... Oh, wait, no, never mind. I was going to say, although maybe they haven't seen a bender before, then again, how would they have known about the Fire Nation?
Yeah, and the Katara, like, clearly they know bending exists.
Yeah.
She's a telekinetic wizard. Like, why couldn't a bison fly? Why? Why is that so crazy?
It's kind of like... It is weird. Like, I remember they're saying, like, bending isn't magic. It's like a martial art. And it's
I'm
like,
pretty sure it's magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
It's chi, isn't it? Isn't it chi energy? Chi-based energy?
Yeah.
It's based on, like, Taoism or something?
Yeah, some kind of...
It's magic. It's straight up magic.
Asian-
It's wizard magic. It's Harry Potter magic, straight up.
It's an Eastern magic.
Anyone who says, like, no, it's a martial arts, they're channeling whatever, it's magic.
Yeah,
It's Harry Potter.
It's magic version of what we have.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's Magneto, but with specific things. They can only lift specific things.
Yeah, but they do it in a freaking awesome way.
Yeah, they do. Do you want to jump into episode 3? Or do you want to talk about episode 2 a little more?
I don't. I guess like the fight sequences actually, or the choreo for it. Have you seen the behind the scenes on how they did the like choreographing?
Oh, you showed me the one for Korra, like how they in real life make fight scenes in real life and act them out.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Do you know if they did it for Avatar or was that a Korra thing?
I think I showed it to you for Avatar. I haven't seen one for Korra.
Oh, okay, my bad.
But I do remember like one thing that they would always do was like they'd have I mean, I can't talk about it now because we're not on season 2 yet, but I'll talk about season 1. But like, I think they spent ages looking for someone who could do martial arts and stuff like that. Because originally they were just planning on just going, we'll just have people just throwing punches and stuff, or just, you know, whatever. But then they're like, no, let's actually, the amount of like detail that went into this show, like from the costumes, kissing, there are some more about the costume designs. But yeah, the costumes, the music, even the music is styled towards Asian style.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
All the way down to like the martial arts. Like the martial arts is based off like I think the culture that they're from as well.
Yeah, I remember seeing a thing one time about how each style is based off a different type of martial arts.
Yeah. I know.
We should probably have researched some of this before we started recording.
I think Northern Shaolin is the style for firebending.
Okay.
That's the only one I can remember off by heart. I think. Ooh, or is it earthbending?
We probably should have put any amount of research into this.
Well, that's okay.
Please don't Google while we're recording.
I'm gonna Google.
Welcome back to Waifu Corner, where we'll discuss your favorite Jackie Chan waifus. My personal favorite waifu is Grandpa Chan.
Grandpa Chan?
Yeah. I like him tall and skinny. One more thing.
No. Oh no.
What are you doing?
Wait, what?
What are you doing?
I'm not even gonna bother because I'm probably wrong.
Let's cut that out.
Yes.
Boop.
And we're back.
And we're back. We're back from Rick's Nonsense Corner.
Yeah. Anyway.
What the hell were we talking about?
I don't know.
Let's start with episode 3.
Yeah, let's go to episode 3 now. Have fun trying to find all the interesting things.
There was avatars and benders.
Cool. Episode 3. Here we go.
Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Let's go.
Wow. Okay, the first shot of Appa looks really retarded. Did you see that?
What?
Like, there's a shot of Appa. Wait for it. Right here.
Oh, he looks a little Gumby.
Yeah. Oh well.
But in general, huge jump up in the animation quality.
Yeah, like even the shading, there's depth of field.
That's a field, yeah.
Oh my god.
It's like they spent more than 1 hour on it.
Yeah. That's actually kind of one thing I did like about this episode, was like it's animated so well, but it's still in that comical
I was just gonna say
style?
immediately that we've got like 8 different comical faces thrown at us, and they all look better than every comical face in the first 2 episodes.
And it works like so well.
It didn't look like they pasted a goofy face onto their head. It looked like their actual face was making a goofy face.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. This is kind of the episode where we got to see a little bit more of Zuko, wasn't it? or at least like his relationship with the Fire Nation.
Yeah, and Iroh as well.
Yeah, Iroh. Oh, Iroh.
Your waifu. Your
Yes.
one true waifu.
My one true waifu. Nah, he's such a good character. He's a good guidance character.
I remember as a kid always thinking like, usually in shows like this, there was a bad guy that as a kid you were like, why aren't you a good guy? Be a good guy. Help the good guys. And I remember as a kid being like, Iroh, why are you a bad guy?
Yeah.
You should be a good guy.
He is like, he's always like the voice of reason in Zuko's chaotic mind. And then like this is when we meet the season's villain.
The Fire Emperor?
No, I forgot his name. Zod. No, it's not Zod. That's fucking Superman. Zhao. General Zhao, I think his name is. But yeah, like this is like his introduction.
Zhao.
Yeah. This is like his introduction episode, and he's a villain. Like, what did you think?
So
of him?
what is he? He's the admiral to Fire Navy or something?
Yeah, he's like the military leader or something like that, and he
Military
finds
leader.
out that like Zuko found the Avatar, and now he's like, I'm gonna capture the Avatar.
Yeah. So run through the season 3, episode 3 plot quickly, because
So it's pretty much just like the Avatar gang goofing around. No, actually, it's Aang finding out about his whole temple being demolished.
the history of the Airbenders. Yeah.
Yeah, like he finds out that his entire family's been killed by the Fire Nation. It's also when the Fire Nation finds out about this is kind of when I think we found a plot hole.
Yeah, I think so.
Because like he turns into the Avatar state, and then all the Avatar statues light up.
Yeah. So
it's
wait, backtrack a little bit. So we go to the Airbenders temple. Aang
Yeah.
finds the big chamber of the Airbenders.
Yeah.
First minor plot hole is that the chamber of the Airbenders is sealed.
Yeah.
And it really, really seems like the Fire Nation, when they wiped out everyone, they would have just burnt the door open and see like, oh, this is the Avatar chamber.
Yeah.
Should probably rack this up.
I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone who's played an exploring game, when they see a door that they can break, not once have you ever gone, there's nothing important in there, and walked away.
It's weird. It almost looks like after the genocide, the Fire Nation just gently resealed the door, closed it, re-put the lock and everything. It's
Yeah.
weird, but Aang goes in and discovers the chamber of the Avatars, where there's a statue for each of the previous incarnations of the Avatar.
Yeah.
He finds his previous incarnation and he remembers him, but he doesn't remember why.
Yeah.
And then he discovers that his childhood friend had been part of the massacre by the Fire Nation of the Air Nomads. And
part
he-
of it all was in it.
In it, like he was
okay.
one of the victims.
Yeah, I thought
he
you was
wasn't
like, he was a part
killing
of
the
it.
other
I was like,
Airbenders.
what did I miss? The monk killing monks?
That'd be sick.
Actually, speaking of monk killing monks, that happened in the movie.
Hey, what?
In the live action film, a monk turns Aang into the Fire Nation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
An Airbender monk?
No, just a normal.
Just a monk?
Yeah,
just a
but
generic
who
monk.
was living in like the airbending temple.
Oh, okay.
And like, anyway, let's not talk about that piece of shit.
Anyway, episode 3, and Aang gets upset seeing the corpse of his old friend and goes Avatar state.
Yeah, which is understandable.
Yeah, it's a much better justification than the second episode where he got splashed by water.
Yeah.
He fell into some cold water and went Avatar state, and in return used all the power of the cosmos to splash Zuko with some more water.
Yeah. I think
Super underwhelming.
this is probably gonna like get some people raging at me. I think this is probably where the live action did it better.
Really?
In the live action, Aang escapes by just simply getting on his glider and flying away.
Yeah.
In the cartoon, though, Aang gets away because he turned into the Avatar state.
It felt, like you said before, it felt really shoehorned in. Like they had to like bang, 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 plot point 1, plot point 2, plot point 3. We had to get the Avatar state in at the end of the 2-part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that Aang got away by his airbending skills, not by his Avatar skills, did make a bit more sense in the live action.
Yeah. Episode 3 being the first Avatar state would have felt way more natural and organic.
Yeah. It would have made sense too, and it's not like, I mean, he destroyed a house with air in the Avatar state. Like that's still showing off a lot of power. And he like threw, like Sokka through a fully thick, freaking stone wall and survived.
Fully thick. Welcome back to Waifu Corner, where we talk about
yes.
fully thick waifus, fully thick Sokkas. But yeah, we were saying the plot hole.
Yes.
Aang goes Avatar state, and when he does, the statues in the Avatar chamber light up, and what are they? Various points around the Earth light up. They seem to be like holy sites for previous avatars or something.
Probably.
I think they might be like shrines, like the previous Earth avatar's shrine, the previous Fire avatar's shrine, or whatever. They start to light up and activate, and we see someone in the Fire Nation go, "Oh, dang! The fire avatar's lighting up. It must mean the avatar's back."
Yeah.
But Aang went Avatar in the previous episode, so why did no one notice when everything started glowing all around the world?
It's like, what was special about that one time? I mean, I guess you can say that was a more emotionally driven Avatar state, but it's
That's so weird.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Avatar state should be Avatar state. It shouldn't matter if he got angry or he got splashed by water. He went Avatar state.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's like a super Avatar state. This isn't Dragon Ball Z.
This is Avatar state beyond Avatar state. Avatar state 3.
Or whatever that sound
That
is.
sounded like dubstep.
Yes. This is kind of actually... This is an episode where they introduced quite a lot of characters, actually. I mean, obviously the previous episodes they did that as well, but in this one they really introduced a lot of characters, but they're characters we're going to see throughout the entire show. Almost. Like, Momo is introduced in this episode.
Oh, yeah. I forgot Momo had to be introduced.
Yeah, because he's a character that everyone likes.
He's definitely for the girls and the little kids, the 4-year-olds, and
yeah,
like they had to be like, oh, we got to make toys out of Appa and Momo, and
yeah, I've always wanted a Momo and Appa plushie.
a Deki Makora.
Yeah. I mean, they're decent characters. I'm just not. I'm not a fan when they focus an entire episode on them. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I find it a little bit cringy too. I remember as a kid watching some scenes where it was like 30 seconds of Momo being cute, and it felt a little like they were trying too hard to like make a scene.
Yeah.
Like, don't you want this toy? Don't you want this plushie?
I mean, they're good characters and all.
Yeah, the design for Momo is great.
Yeah. Like Momo's character design is really great. Appa's character design, I don't know what happened. Did they just like see a mop with legs and go like, yes, that'll do.
Sugoi.
Sugoi des there.
Sugoi des there.
Actually, you were saying with the door mechanism, actually, like I remember you saying like the design for the door, like the idea of opening the door with an element or bending an element is super cool.
Yeah, so the chamber to the Avatar room was blocked by a big door that could only be opened by someone airbending in 2 directions at once, and it funneled through a series of horns and wind instruments. I think wind instruments are like a running theme with the airbenders, if I remember.
Yeah. Or
maybe not. Whatever.
Remember. I guess we'll find out. Our memory for season 1 is very shady.
Yeah.
Because as you can tell, I'm a huge fan of season 1.
Yeah, so even with you binging it multiple times, you generally skip season 1, and I haven't seen season 1 since it first aired. So
yeah, I always like, if I want to start watching Avatar, I always start with like the Blind Bandit episode, and I just watch from there.
Blind Bandit. Okay, cool.
The introduction.
Oh wait, Toph. Oh
yeah.
god. All right. Okay. All right.
But
we'll skip to the Blind Bandit if you want, Rick. I can see where this is going.
We'll talk about Toph when we get to it. There's so much to talk about her. But right now we gotta make do with Sokka and Aang and Katara and
with season 1 too. I even remember the marketing campaign for the advertising was the tagline for it was "What's funny about Avatar?" And they had they had the typical Nickelodeon presenter like with his wacky voice like "What's fun? Hey kids, what's wacky about Avatar?" And there was literally like a 30-second ad segment of like Momo doing faces, Aang sneezing. That was the they didn't, because I think they were worried at the start. Like we said, SpongeBob was the kingpin.
Yeah.
I think they were worried if they were like, look at this cool kung fu action, kids might not bite into it.
Yeah.
So the marketing was like Momo, Appa sneezing, great. Even in the first 2 episodes, there was Appa sneezing on Sokka and just snot. It was like a 25-second segment of just Sokka wiping snot off his face, and it was so much like you could see a Nickelodeon executive like leaning over their shoulder and like put a snot joke in.
Yeah.
Kids love snot jokes.
Even in like episode 1, they're like put a toilet joke in there. Like they put like 2 toilet jokes in there.
More toilet jokes.
Yeah, like they had one where the kid's like going, "I need to go party," and then you had like Aang where he comes out of the bathroom. He's like, "Everything freezes in there," and it's like we're in episode 1. Come on, I mean. To be thankful though, that's probably the only time they do bathroom jokes. Come to think of it, from memory at least.
Can you add a yellow sea sponge to this scene? Maybe a pink sea star that doesn't know things.
So, like I think again they're just playing it safe. Like that's what happens when you set up rules to try and be safe. Like if you be safe, normally you're setting yourself up to fail. Like
for real, they were just trying to say that this show was really groundbreaking at the time.
yeah.
The idea of a Western studio doing Dragon Ball Z, but trying to make it less hokey and more thought out.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And like giving, not making the characters so 2-dimensional. Whoa! I just triggered some people.
Yeah, even today you see shows Adventure Time, Steven Universe, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really clearly inspired by Avatar.
Like they give
Ben
these characters, like with these new animations, they give these characters such a lot of depth to them. They floor their characters as well. Like I haven't seen Steven Universe, but I've heard so much about it.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen it. Maybe we should do it next. I don't know.
Maybe. What was another one? Gravity Falls was another one.
Gravity Falls. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Rick and Morty. Well, Rick and Morty is interesting. I mean, you have like Rick, he's flawed in one way, but he's also a god in another.
Yeah, we don't need to go into Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty self-analyzes itself. That doesn't need to be a podcast talking about it.
Yeah,
I bet there is. I've just probably offended someone.
Yeah, but Avatar, like for the time, again, because I never watched this when it was first airing, but for something back then, this was definitely something new in the animation world. I'm gonna guess.
Yeah, I imagine. This had production value behind it that other shows didn't either. Because remember, this show was on what would have been at the same time, roughly, Dexter's Lab, Ren and Stimpy. No, those were a little bit earlier, but still, you didn't have the detailed character models that this show has. You didn't have the realistic proportions, the fight scenes, the animation. When they do pick up, the animation's great.
That was actually one thing. I think this is one thing that was a good thing they did with Avatar, which was
one
Avatar.
Good thing.
No, it's like the thing that made it such a good show was that I'm gonna guess from the top of my head, this may have been the first animated show that had a very distinct beginning and end.
Right. Yeah.
Most animated shows just had like episodes that were standalone.
Yeah, the idea of a overarching storyline. Was big. Because I think I remember reading once that the reason why kids shows were like that, because apparently it was difficult to get kids to tune in every week to follow a cohesive plot line. You needed a kid to like tune in and like you didn't need to know why SpongeBob had a different hat in this episode. You didn't need to watch the previous one, find out why SpongeBob was blue instead of yellow in this episode.
Yeah.
You just tune in and watch it and the kids can enjoy it and whatever. But yeah, I guess that was another risk. I'm a big Dragon Ball fanboy. I feel like Avatar owes a lot to Dragon Ball's success in the West.
Actually, yeah,
for
Dragon
being
Ball
a proof
Z
of concept.
I never. Okay, I did watch Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid. I think I watched the first. There was the Frieza saga. I watched that one, and then I stopped from there because like. I was always embarrassed to watch like anime around my family because they would always make fun of it. They'd be like, "This show is shit," and I'm like, "It is," because like they'd always be like, "They just yell all the time." Wow, what a shitty show! And I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
No, see, because I have a brother, so me and my brother, of a four-person household, 2 people in the household like anime.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, "No, it's good." In fact, I bought a Dragon Ball figurine.
Yeah, I was looking at it while I was telling that story.
I bought a Trunks figurine on the way to us preparing to make this podcast. Yeah. So that kind of shows like we got Trunks here.
Yeah.
Good old Trunks.
I mean, for some,
welcome to Waifu Corner, where I talk about my love for Trunks. You can see his
ass.
Rippling biceps. They really put some shading on the glutes.
Made in China. They have Made in China written on his ass.
Anime made in China.
Yeah. I'm obviously like it's no secret that Avatar has borrowed quite a lot from the style of anime.
Yeah, I mean I've seen discussions on Reddit and 4chan and stuff all the time. Is Avatar anime? People are like, yes, Avatar's anime. No, Avatar's not anime.
This is a very interesting. To me personally, this is where I'm like.
Let's drop it. Let's drop the hammer, Rick. Let's go. Let's get deep in this.
Okay, so
deep in the paint.
By definition, Avatar is an anime, but by like how society classes anime, it's not.
I would say the opposite.
Because like the word anime means an animation regardless, but because
Are you sure about that?
yeah,
Because Rocco Modern's Life is not an anime.
if it was a Japanese person who's like the word anime in
Mm.
Japanese means
Mm.
like an animation.
Yeah.
But
Specifically an animation from Japan, wouldn't you say?
no, it just means it's like animation.
Because is Simpsons anime?
It would be classed like again if we were to take the meaning of the word, anything animated would be an anime.
Let's make this an episode.
Maybe
Because I feel like we could go 25 minutes on this alone.
this is like where people, but again, like because we as Westerners class the word anime as classing an animation made by the Japanese.
Mm.
That's where I'm like, you know, if we were to use by how we use the word anime,
Mm.
then no, like anything like Avatar, Teen Titans, even
Teen Titans, Ben 10,
Ben
Max
10.
Steel.
like that's not an anime. That's a cartoon.
Yeah, I would say like anime inspired. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cartoon, definitely.
But by definition of the word, which you wouldn't really work around.
Does anime have a definition? Isn't it a slang term?
It's pretty much a slang term, yeah.
Yeah.
But by the word of like the meaning of the word itself just means animation. Like when you
Right.
have a lot of like Japanese people who keep saying to us Westerners who, for some dumb reason, we always seem to argue with ourselves, and the Japanese people just like shake their heads and go, "You're fucking Westerners," or more accurately, fucking weebs. But like this is
boy.
like, personally, I don't class Avatar as an anime because it's not shit.
Whoa! I think go deep into pain. I don't know why you're like this, Rick.
I'm like, how many people can I trigger in like a short span of time?
Oh my god.
It's like I always love trolling like weebs and or otakus. I don't like the word weeb.
Can we not destroy anyone remotely interested in this in the first episode?
Maybe. Like one thing I always have fun with, and I obviously do this on purpose. Like when on Facebook, when I see people like go like when they start complaining about like when Hollywood is adapting a film,
Mm.
and I think they were adapting like recently I saw a post where it's like, oh, Hollywood's going to be adapting the anime. What's your name?
What's your yeah, your name.
It's
yeah.
like they're gonna ruin this movie, and then just me being the troll. I just typed in Hollywood can't fix trash, and I hit enter, and I just put it up. And I'm like, now I
Yeah.
wait.
For the record, me and my girlfriend who is Japanese, we didn't like Your Name. We think it's overrated.
I haven't seen it. The only reason I want to watch it is it looks pretty.
It looks pretty, but I think in today's technology, it's easy to make anime look pretty. Like
Yeah.
a CGI movie looks pretty. It's hard to make a CGI movie not look good
Yeah.
today. You can have a student film on a budget of like $1,000, like a 30-second look good.
Yeah.
Like I don't think looking pretty is a statement in itself anymore.
This is something I actually say to for those of you who don't know.
This feels like a different segment. Should this be something else we're just talking about?
And our podcasts usually go off the rails every now and then.
All right.
Yeah. At least the ones that like I watch.
I feel like we wrapped up nicely with Avatar, though, what we were saying about.
Yeah.
I think we can jump
We'll-
nicely into
we'll-
episode 2.
We'll try and veer back into Avatar again.
Yeah.
But yeah, like for those of you who don't know, I do animated videos on YouTube and stuff. But a lot of my animations are very shittily done. They just look nice because I throw in some like After Effects stuff to
Yeah.
make it look better than what it really is.
Post-production.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, and you have people like I see a lot of people saying, it's like, oh my god, your lighting effects is so good. And I'm like, yeah, it's like a filter that I threw on in After Effects, and I just it like you can literally make shit look amazing.
You're
on
an
the computer
Instagram
nowadays.
animator.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Just chuck a filter on and you're done.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're all right with that. Like in today's day and age, you can make anything look amazing.
Yeah. I think we're kind of past the point where something looking good is a craft.
Yeah.
Like making an animated movie look good in the 70s was a craft and difficult, and nowadays I think we know it's the animators are equally as talented, but we know how to do it now.
Yeah.
It's not a mysterious uncharted territory now. We know how to make something animated look good.
It's pretty much anyone can do it if they have the patience.
Yeah.
It's kind of like filmmaking. Like anyone can be a filmmaker if you have the patience.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you can do like special effects and stuff on like really crappy computers now. Like that's how far we've gone.
Yeah.
Like Avatar, for example, swinging all the way back to Avatar now.
Swinging back into the Avatar.
But Avatar, for example, like, I mean, I'm not saying it's bad animation or graphic-wise, but like, if you were to take all the like assets and stuff they used to create each shot and then like put them through software we had now, like I'm pretty sure the graphics and stuff on it would look so much better.
Oh yeah, I can imagine if someone had access to the layers.
Yeah.
You could make this look crazy by today's standards.
Yeah, and with almost zero to no effort on probably a cheap $200-300 laptop even.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I find really interesting. Like a lot of, and I'm going to pick on you Mac users.
All right, so Ricky's an animator. We're going to talk a lot about animation style in this podcast. Let's get this out of the way.
We'll get this out of the way because I probably won't talk about animation until like maybe later on in the season. But this is what I find really like irritating with a lot of like Mac users. I'm going to hit on you guys for a little bit if you're a Mac user.
Oh my god, you just shut up all the anime fans and now you're going for Mac users.
I'm going for everyone.
We're gonna have exactly 2 people who can enjoy listening to this.
But
and not feel personally attacked by you.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. You should actually you should see my live streams. I bash on a lot of
Trump
people.
supporters.
Oh god, yeah. That's one thing. That's one like road I am not crossing.
We're not talking about politics.
Yeah, like we'll never talk about politics, like ever.
Welcome back to Waifu Corner.
Yes.
Donald Trump's hair.
No.
Hottest anime hair.
Oh.
Top 5 or top 10?
And pubic hair on his head.
Anyway. Animation.
But yeah, like a lot of people think if you want to be an animator, you need to go out and buy like a expensive, like top of the line Mac. And it's like no.
There's no such thing.
You can animate on like a really crappy laptop.
A crap top, some might say.
Like all it requires is patience and lots of it. And that's probably why I have so much respect for like the Avatar series. Like, I'm not sure. Would this show have been introduced with digital paintings, or would they have had to do this the old way?
I feel like this would be the advent of digital. I think a lot of this is digital, yeah.
Okay. Actually, yeah, it does make sense because I do remember seeing
some tweening.
Well, yeah, there's like some tweening, but I remember seeing a lens flare, but it's like the stock lens flare you see in Photoshop. Like that really crappy lens flare.
At the time, it would have been like proprietary software,
Yeah.
like $14,000 to access this lens flare.
It's like, oh my god, such a beautiful lens flare. And Aang can save the world.
We just finished episode 3 just finished on our computer. So.
Yeah, so we're now back on episode 1. So.
Do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah. How do wrap up podcasts?
How do podcasts, Ricky?
Yeah.
Ricky, how do you podcasts? Wait, let's
Well, for those of you who don't know, this is our first podcast we've ever done. Period.
I'm an avid podcast fan.
Although, yeah, Matt's watched a lot of podcasts. I've done live streams, and I'm treating this like a live stream. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Let's just cut for a second.
Yeah.
Do you want to do anything at the end, like favorite moment, favorite character, least favorite moment?
Oh yeah, like
whatever.
a summary of the episode.
Yeah, like a wrap up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of shows do that, like favorite moment, least favorite moment.
Yeah,
like
yeah. Sure. Yeah.
I think that'd be a good way to wrap it up.
All right. Let's start
Let's
off.
think about it for a second.
Nah, let's just go into this blank.
Let's go wild. Let's go buck wild.
So before we wrap up, what was your favorite moments in the first 3 episodes?
This is why I wanted to think about it for a second. Rick.
You can't. Okay.
You would have let me.
I'll tell you my.
Take the reins, Jesus.
my
Take the
favorite.
wheel.
I think my favorite part out of the first three episodes, yeah, has to be the part where Sokka and Katara find out Aang's the Avatar. Like, their reaction, even though it's animated and like they get a sentence each, and Sokka gets like 2 words, is still just like it's so well done. The first I think the first 2 episodes is really good. The second episode is also good, but it feels
better than the first, not as good as the third. I feel like there's a distinct ramp up in quality.
Yeah, animation wise, it's great, but
even writing though, I think the writing in the third episode was tighter than the first 2.
I think the part that I hate the most of the 3.
Least favorite moment?
See, this is gonna be hard with a show like Avatar.
Yeah, that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, like even though we say the part we hate the most, it doesn't mean the show's terrible.
It's still good by cartoon standards.
It's just our least favorite moment.
Least favorite, yeah. Favorite and least favorite moment. Rick, hit us.
Jesus.
Hit me, baby.
I can't.
Oh, how about I'll do my favorite while you think about your least favorite. My favorite moment, maybe a little obvious, but Aang going Avatar for the second time.
Yeah?
Because that moment, I wish they hadn't gone Avatar in the second episode, because it took away the gravitas of him going Avatar. In the third episode. The gravitas.
The gravitas. We make up words here.
The weight of that's a word.
Is it?
Gravitas, yeah.
Gravitas?
The weight of the episode. The weight of the moment. The gravitas. The weight of the moment.
Oh, okay. I'm learning new
Everyone
words.
please email and call Ricky an idiot. Favorite and least favorite Ricky moments. Please email in.
Oh god, this is going to be
like
like 90% of the stream. Stream podcast.
We don't know what we're doing. My favorite, Aang going Avatar for the second time because, for one, the animation incredible. Yeah. The sound design incredible. They had like helicopter blade sound effect, but sped up and pitched up.
Yeah, it's like this. Kind of sounds.
Yeah, it felt like it would cut you if you walked into it.
Yeah,
it was. I love that, and the visuals for it. They applied some post effects. They had motion blur and a little bit of screen shake.
Yeah,
it looked really nice, but also the story significance behind it, where Aang realizes, like, he knows it's 100 years in the future, but it hits him now that all his friends are dead, all his family's dead. Yeah, the Fire Nation ain't messing around, and I just wish the Avatar state hadn't been in the second episode, being activated by him getting splashed by water, because that would have been so much a better moment if he sees his friend dead and it all hits him all at once and he goes Avatar and he can't control it, and then Katara comes in and calms him down. I love that whole sequence.
Like it makes a lot more sense. Speaking of that, I think my least favorite part will have to be when he goes Avatar state for the first time. Just because it's a waste of an opportunity for us to see the Avatar state for the first time.
Yeah, it's really lackluster.
Yeah, it's just like, it's like a fireworks show where it's just a sparkler. It's like, oh yeah.
It's like going limp in the middle of
sex.
Well, I was going to talk about limp celery, Rick, but you went in a weird Rule 34 place with it. Welcome to Waifu Corner, where we talk about limp celery. Okay, Avatar.
Yeah,
first Avatar.
I think that first Avatar state for me has to be my least favorite, just because it was just, like, obviously when you first watch it, you don't think much of it, but when you go back and you watch it again and look at it from an objective story point of view, it was just a bit of a waste of an opportunity.
The pacing was off. The animation was terrible. Like, I could see what they were going for, but it didn't come off. The fact that it was kind of activated by Katara screaming to him when he was underwater and couldn't obviously hear her. It's just, the whole thing was weird. I think they wanted to make a moment. I feel like they needed to have a moment at the end of the 2-part opening, and they made it the Avatar state, and I feel like that was a huge mistake.
Maybe they were like trying to get a message across. Like, listen to Katara's voice. Isn't it ear piercing? It pierces through the water.
Goes through the molecules.
I mean, a little bit like, I mean, there's no discredit to the voice actress. Like, she's a fantastic voice actress and all. But when she's yelling Aang, it sounds like as though she's like taking a crap or something. So she's like, Aang! Aang! It's very like, forced.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, my least favorite moment, I think, is going to be the snot and poop jokes scattered throughout the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
They all felt out of place. They all felt like Nickelodeon executive over the shoulder. Put a snot joke in. We've been 7 minutes without a poop joke. Put another poop joke in. We've got to keep the kids interested in the poop.
Yeah.
Like, it just felt like they had the episodes written out and then they drag and dropped the poop jokes in.
Yeah.
That Appa sneezing on Sokka and him wiping it off for 15 seconds was so unpleasant to watch.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, I can't picture being like, yeah, snot, let's go.
Actually, yeah, you mentioned that. I mean, I can't imagine like I can imagine like 6 and 7-year-olds laughing at it, which I'm guessing that's what their target audience was when they began writing it. But then they're like
7 to 10-year-olds,
Then they're probably like, let's make this for family families. Because that's usually a better market audience to focus when
Yeah.
you focus families, because then you're focusing everyone.
Yeah. You get 4 viewers in a family instead of 1.
Yeah, because that's what
Mm.
like live 3D films do nowadays. They focus their films on family films.
Definitely.
So anyone can watch it. Like Zootopia,
Yeah.
Moana.
Yeah.
Like, I love those films, and I'm like a 28-year-old man.
A 28-year-old man.
Yeah, I'm a manly man.
I'm a 26-year-old boy.
But episode 1, 2, and 3, I'm actually going to have to be honest, though. Like, if I had no knowledge of Avatar and I was to watch episode 1, 2, and 3 just out of the blue, I don't know if I would have made it through.
I probably would have dropped the show if I didn't see the second Avatar state.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that would have kept me, especially as a kid, that's the only thing that probably would have kept me hooked in the show, was seeing the second Avatar state.
Yeah.
And be like, what's Dragon Ball Z? I want to see him go Super Saiyan.
Like, episode 1, in my opinion, is a very weak grabber for an episode. Like, normally,
Definitely.
for me personally, if I'm watching a new TV series, like, a show needs to grab me on the first episode. And
Yeah. First 10 minutes for me.
yeah, even
For real.
that. And, like, for Avatar, like, the opening sequence where they're introducing, like, the Fire Nation attack and
That's
stuff
great.
is
The
cool.
intro sequence is great. We could do an episode about the intro sequence.
Yeah.
The music, the animation, the narrative.
Oh, yeah, the voice actress who plays Katara. Like, her voice, they picked probably the best voice actor, or the best character to be the voice of the intro. Like,
Yeah.
I can't see Sokka doing it. I
It would've
can't see
been-
Aang doing
It
it.
would have been so easy to just go Aang,
Yeah.
but
Aang's voice would have turned me off instantly. I wonder if they
Yeah.
had to do a recording with Aang, and they were like,
I
yeah,
wonder.
maybe not.
yeah, maybe not. What if they were? Because Katara is a weird choice. So,
Yeah.
I reckon Iroh could have done it. That would have been cool.
It would have been a bit out of place for the beginning, because it's like, why is the villain doing the voice?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
But Katara's voice, yeah, I mean, it could have been even, they could have even gone even safer and picked like another voice actor who has nothing to do with the show.
Just a narrator. Yeah.
Yeah. But they picked Katara's voice, which is kind of interesting. Like, even though Aang is technically the protagonist of this show, most of the time it feels like as though we're following Katara.
Oh yeah.
At least, and from memory, I'm probably wrong.
I can see that.
But like, it's like as if we're seeing the adventure through her eyes at times,
All right.
and then like of other times. Actually, no, I think it's kind of even throughout everyone except for Sokka. He's just there.
Sokka, get out of here, Sokka. No one cares about you.
But yeah, episode, like, this show would not have grabbed me on the first episode. Like,
No,
I think
definitely not.
it would have been too kiddie. I would have been like, nah, not my thing.
Yeah.
And I would have turned it on. Like, this is just from how I think I would have reacted. I mean, if I watched it on a day where I was really bored,
Yeah.
I probably would have watched past episode 1, but I wouldn't be actually watching it. I'd be listening to it.
Yeah. I definitely remember as a kid, like, Avatar being the type of show that just came on, and you would leave it on if it was on for a while, and then I remember like when the Fire Nation started kicking up, it becoming a show like, like Avatar's on, we gotta watch, like record it quick, we gotta watch it. Like,
Yeah.
it took a while for it to get to that point where it's like, I gotta see the next episode.
See, that's the thing that I'm kind of sad about. Like, I missed that hype
Yeah.
of a show coming out. Like, I mean, obviously, I was kind of lucky about me seeing it, because when I wanted to watch it, I didn't have to wait like a week or sometimes 2 weeks.
The pain of the credits coming up and being like, no.
Yeah, and these episodes are that 20 minutes.
Streaming doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, so when I got to watch it, I'm like, I'm just gonna watch the entire series in like a night.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to watch it in a night, and then like I was watching it with my ex-girlfriend at the time. Like, we were watching it together, and then like she'd go off to like to uni or something like that, or to work or whatnot, and then like I'd start watching ahead of her because I just couldn't wait, and she'd get angry at me. But I'm like,
It's not Breaking Bad.
yeah. But the thing is like, even though I would watch ahead of her, I still didn't care going back and rewatching those episodes again.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good this show
Yeah.
is.
There's a lot of things you can pick up going back through and rewatching episodes.
Yeah, even like when you notice about the head bopping
The
thing.
head bops, yeah, I didn't even notice that
seen-
until this second run through here.
I've seen a lot of episode 2 over and over again just for that Sokka moment.
Oh yeah?
And like, I've never once picked up on that.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm looking forward to seeing picking up on more stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
that's going to be fun. Awesome. We'll wrap it up now.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to continuing watching the show, and
Me too.
pretty much us blabbering on for however long we've been blabbering on
Just
for.
rambling.
Yeah.
So that's episode 1, 2, and 3. We did the first 3 together because they're a bit of an arc, a bit of a mini arc.
Yeah.
Not a lot of content in the first 2, so
I think what we might This will be completely up to you guys. I'm thinking at least for season 1, at least do 2 episodes.
Yeah,
per
2
podcast.
to 3 per podcast.
Yeah, and
There's
then
not a lot of meat to a lot of the season 1 episodes.
yeah,
A lot of filler.
from what I remember, season 1 is more or less just a world building season.
Yeah, more comedy focused,
Yeah.
more younger demographic focused.
Yeah, season 2 and 3 is more based on the actual overarching story.
Yeah.
Again, from memory, like obviously we may change. Like this is our first podcast.
Yeah.
Change.
We'll just freestyle it a bit.
Yeah, we'll make it up as we go along.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is our first podcast, but one thing that the main reason why we're doing this is we're trying to relive an animated series that we really, really enjoy, and there's nothing more about sharing it all with other people who also enjoy the show.
Yeah, literally, we binge watched all of Korra a few months ago.
Yeah, that was great.
When we finished, we were like, what do we do now? Well, we
Yeah.
have to go back and watch Avatar, and we thought, well, we're going to sit around watching all of Avatar and talking about it. Let's just put microphones in front of our faces
Yeah.
and record it and see if anyone else wants to talk about Avatar.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, get in contact.
Yeah. Also, like, if there's a comment section, I don't know where we're uploading this, pretty much everywhere, but let us know what your favorite part was of episode 1, 2, and 3, why, and what your least favorite part.
Yeah, watch through it with us and let us know what you enjoyed too. Maybe we'll have I want to do a waifu corner.
A waifu corner.
A waifu corner.
Well,
Let us know who your favorite
I'm
waifu
pretty
is
sure-
from the first 3 episodes.
I'm pretty sure they probably already thought who their waifu was at the start of the stream, start of the podcast. Katara's my waifu.
Iroh.
Iroh's your waifu?
No.
Momo's my waifu.
Mine's May, for the record.
May is Bay.
May is Bay.
May is
Get on
Bay.
my level.
May.
If you have a waifu, a favorite moment, a least favorite moment, if you agreed with something or disagreed with something we said, if you're one of the very many target demographics that Rick directly attacked in this episode, please get in contact.
No.
Please. That's Ricky Murray at YouTube. You can send a direct message to his YouTube channel and tell him what an idiot he is.
You could hurt me even more by subscribing to my channel than unsubscribing immediately.
You can hurt him by liking all his videos.
You could be
on
like,
YouTube.
subscribe and unsubscribe and be like, how do you like that?
You have a chip installed that physically hurts you whenever someone unsubscribes.
Also, let us know who your waifu is and tell us if you where would you why.
Rick, can you make up some jingle music so we can have waifu corner at the end of each episode and we'll talk about people's favorite waifus?
Yeah, we'll have a waifu every now and then. We'll talk about our favorite waifus and stuff.
Send in your favorite moments, least favorite moments, favorite characters, and your waifus. We'll sprinkle them in. We want to hear from everyone.
We may even talk about the next podcast if someone brings up something really interesting.
Yeah, we have plenty of friends in real life who love Avatar. We've talked about the idea of this podcast and oh, do this. And yeah, sure.
As we also have friends who don't want to watch Avatar. We're like, how can you breathe?
You poor misguided souls.
Yeah. This show is great, and those who haven't watched it just don't understand. Just don't understand the love for the show.
Go on, Rick. Just keep attacking people. Just keep attacking people.
But see, now I'm attacking people who probably aren't listening to this.
Yeah.
So now it makes sense. Yes.
That's the bravest way to attack someone. Someone who doesn't know they're being attacked.
Yeah, behind their back.
Behind their back. Let's do it. Backstab corner. Let's go.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for
We're
watching.
Gonna wrap it up. Thank you for listening. In fact, if you're watching us now, that's very creepy because we don't have a video.
No, thank you for listening.
If you're looking at us through the window right now, please stop. We don't appreciate it. We're not animals in a zoo.
Or maybe I like to be watched.
Maybe that's what we're into. Waifu corner.
What the damn waifu corner? I should make some really sexy porno music.
Sax music.
So every time you say waifu corner, it's just like waifu corner.